Hey everyone, welcome to the Pearl by Heartfulness. I'm Lakshmi, your host for this session. Today our topic is yogic lifestyle as a preparation for meditation. This is also to commemorate the International Yoga Day on June 2021. Now, heartfulness meditation, as we all know, is a state of the mind, a way of being, a way of life, and it's self-awareness that we carry with us all the time. Now imagine when we have mastered the art of tuning the mind with the heart, we're picking up and capturing feelings and inspirations right away. As Daji, the heartfulness world leader, would say that we have mastered our lives because we've brought back happiness, balance, and positivity into our life, right? But this is not going to happen over the night. It is constant mental training by bringing in a connection between the mind and the heart through contemplative practices like meditation, and also making a conscious shift in our outlook towards life. Now, this conscious shift here is sometimes we call it as Dinacharya practices. And that is what Dr. Dilip Sarkar is going to demonstrate today. This Dinacharya practices will prepare our body and mind for meditation. Now, some housekeeping announcements. It's a live session today, as you can see. So please feel free to interact with us throughout the session in the comment box by sending in your questions, feedbacks, with us, and we'll be happy to answer any questions as we go along. Thank you. Now, with absolute pleasure, let me introduce you to our guest speaker today, Dr. Dilip Sarkar. Now, he is a chairperson of the Center for Integrative Medicine and Yoga, Thaxa Institute, Hampton, Virginia. He's a retired vascular surgeon turned yoga acharya, certified yoga therapist, certified Ayurvedic yoga therapist, and Ayurvedic teacher. He retired as an associate professor of surgery at Eastern Virginia Medical School. Dr. Sarkar started the CME Medical Professionals, continuing medical education course in the USA for physicians, yoga therapy for medical professionals. In 2010, he serves on several local and national healthcare boards as past president of the board of directors. On January 12, 2019, he was awarded the Doctor of Letters degree in yoga by the best yoga university in the world, the S. Vyasa of Bangalore, India. Now his new DVD, Yoga Therapy for Health and Healing, A Daily Practice, and his book, Yoga Therapy, Ayurveda and Western Medicine, A Healthy Convergence, published in April of 2017, has been very well received by physicians and all people around the world. Now, he's a very accomplished and a kind gentleman, so I'm very delighted to welcome him to the Pearl session today. Dr. Sarkar, how are you? And it's a pleasure to have you on Pearl. Dr. Sarkar?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. We are all setting it up.
Excellent. Okay. I see you okay.
You see me now?
Yes.
Okay.
So how are you today?
Oh, today, I'm very nice, very good. We're in a meditation mode. We're in meditation, we're in meditation now. And thank you, Lakshmi. Thank you for the nice introduction. So do you have any question for me before I start?
Absolutely, Dr. Sarkar. I was thinking that, for 50 years, you've worked in the field of Western medicine throughout your career until you retired. And then you started a new life becoming a certified yoga therapist and an Ayurveda practitioner. Now you're integrating yoga wisdom and the science of Western medicine. Now, what prompted you to turn to the yogic and Ayurvedic practices? Can you tell us a little bit about this journey that took you here?
Sure. The first of all, Lakshmi, is that I've been a Western trained physician. I've been in this country over almost 50 years. So, and because of Indian roots, Indian heritage, the yogic philosophy, Vedic philosophy, it's always in our mind. But I've been like a Western trained physician. I've been eating the right kind of food, exercising 5 days a week, having a regular medical checkup, in perfect health, as healthy as can be in Western medical standard. Never took a pill, never been in the hospital, never been sick. 20 years back, I had a heart attack. And I had an open heart surgery immediately. And absolutely all my numbers are normal. My blood pressure is still 120/80. My blood sugar is 80. My cholesterol is normal. My this truncal obesity, very little. Mm-hmm. Cardiologist says, hey, what? Take this prescription. They gave you 4 medication, aspirin, statin, beta blocker, ACE inhibitor. Come back in 6 months. I was, as a physician, I said, that's not it. Something is there. It must be something to do with what we really don't know in Western medicine, what is called a mind. Mm. And by Eastern philosophy, when you know, very simple way of explaining is that our body is a hardware, mind is a software. Mm. And I'm the programmer. I'm programmer of the software. So if you can program your software, your hardware will be fixed. So I started fixing my software through this yogic and Ayurvedic lifestyle and practice. Remember one thing, yoga and Ayurveda and both derive from our Vedas, same root, same philosophy, same concept. So we interchangeably use the word yoga therapy, Ayurveda together. Today, at 20 years past my open heart surgery, I'm a disease-free, medication-free. I'm enjoying a quality life. I go for a yearly checkup every year. My everything looks perfect. So that brought me, Lakshmi, to the world. My physician friends started asking me, please share what you do. And I started sharing, which I'm going to share with you today also, that you stay, as you said, you stay in a state of meditation. You don't practice meditation. Exactly the word you use. Meditation is a state of mind. It's an awareness which you carry. I'm talking to you. This is my meditation. And if you look at it from our Western medical perspective, meditation is the activation of a portion of the brain which is beyond our called motor and sensory cortex, which is called emotional brain. We call it limbic system. There are 2 nuclei called amygdala and hippocampus. Oh, you have some questions you're asking?
No, that's okay. It's okay. Just carry on.
So what happens, this is the activation of the portion of the brain which controls your conscious brain and subconscious brain. It's called limbic system. There's 2 nuclei called amygdala and hippocampus. It sends a signal to hypothalamus. Hypothalamus sends a signal to your autonomic nervous system. Autonomic nervous system creates a parasympathetic activation. So meditation, if you look at a medical term, it is called a relaxation response, activation of parasympathetic tone. See, here I'm sitting down in a Sukhasana. I can sit down in a Padmasana. I can do my Sirsasana, Sarvangasana. These are all a relaxation response. These are preparing. Remember, meditation, we all use the word yoga and meditation. There is nothing called yoga and meditation. Meditation is the 7th limb of your 8 limb practice. So what we do, we practice the 7 limbs, so we enter into a state of meditation. So another way of looking at it, Lakshmi, is that we have a thought process. We generate our thought process. thousands and thousands of thought processes. Majority of thought processes in the past. Who did what? Lakshmi said me something. Why did she say? Another portion in the future, but very little in the present. But even in the present, highest number is going to repeat thought process. I have to come, meet Lakshmi. I have to come, present. It's constantly the chattering of your mind. Chitta Vritti Nirodh. Chitta Vritti Nirodh is your meditation. So in a state of meditation, you enter in between the thought process, which is called a gap, and slowly you increase your gap. Eventually what happens, you are not thoughtless. You have a same thought process, but you don't have a repeat thought process. What do you call monkey in the brain?
That's right.
Okay. And the example you give, our mind was like your fall, Niagara Falls. With the meditation, slowly it became a river. Slowly it became a pond. Slowly it became your swimming pool. Swimming, there is no more ripple. You can look at the water, you can see all the way down. That's what a state of meditation is. So to achieve that, what do you practice? That's probably the question you're going to ask me. We practice a daily called a dinocharya, yogic lifestyle. And what we do, I do exactly from our scripture. I learned yoga from the scripture. People ask me, what type of yoga do you teach? What type of yoga do you? I said, first of all, the word is called yoga. It's a union of your body, mind, and spirit. The Westerners cannot speak the word yoga, so it becomes yoga. So yoga is the one which you use from here. But so I always tell people, I practice what is called authentic yoga. I practice heartfulness meditation, but if you say heartfulness meditation, it comes from the scripture. Daji doesn't speak anything from outside the scripture. Daji is all within the philosophy, all within the 8 limbs. He has his way of explaining. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
He's not here. I lost the picture. What happened?
You're there, Dr. Sarkar. I can see you.
I'm there.
Yes, you are.
Just one second. Now I don't see it on my side.
It's all fine.
Just give me 1 second. Up to go to do not disturb, and I come back. Yes, here I am. Okay. So we, as I say, we practice. Now, if you don't have any further question, I can go ahead and start telling them what I do for a daily practice.
Absolutely, Dr. Sarkar. Before that,
yes.
I just wanted to ask you now, in our discussions before the live sessions, you, of course, you were talking about yogic lifestyle, and that's how this topic evolved. Now, really, what do you mean by this yogic lifestyle?
It's our scripture. It has been shown. It's called a dinocharya. Dinocharya means live in harmony with the nature. We are called Jatha Pindo Tatha Brahmando. Pindo is my body, Brahmanda is outside, called microcosm and a macrocosm. Living in harmony with the nature also is called a Ritucharya. Ritucharya means living in harmony with your seasons, what you do in summertime, what you do in the winter time. So in a daily yogic lifestyle, we call it our body type. It's called your doshas, Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. And we have a Vata, Pitta, and Kapha also in the timing. So in the morning, 6 to 10 is a Kapha time. Kapha time, you have called a Manda Agni, like your digestive fire is very low. So in yogic tradition, as it's a diet, our breakfast is very little. Western tradition is, you eat breakfast like a king. When if you go to yogic ashram, breakfast is your 6 almonds and a glass of water. Main meal is a lunch because 10 to 2 is a pitta time. So what you do in a kapha time, what you do in a pitta time, then your 2 to 6 is the vata time. Then come back again in the evening, 6 to 10. So again, it's in the evening, you have a Mandagni, so your dinner is very little, small dinner. It's in yogic tradition, so all came. So I will show you step by step. So for example, the first thing they're saying, that how do you sleep? When do you wake up? Wake up in the morning between 4 to 6. It's called a Brahma Muhurto. And when you have adequate sleep, you don't need a alarm clock. You wake up between 4 to 6. I wake up absolutely every single day between 5 to 6 in the morning. So answering your question, it came from our scripture. It is in the scripture. It is in a Ayurvedic. If you look, any Ayurvedic book will be there. Any yogic book will be there. And we incorporate in our daily lifestyle. I do it every single day. I have already done it until today. And I will go with you step by step what is being done.
Excellent. We're looking forward to it. Yes, please.
Okay. So the first, as I said, once you wake up in the morning, generally yogis sleep in the left side, yoga sleep. You see, yogis don't have any, their life is very simple. They carry a little stick. It's called a, yogdand. I don't know if you've seen anything called yogdand and a, so they will sit down in the left side with their hands together and they're in a fetal position. There's a lot of physiology behind it. And I have a whole section on my YouTube, how to sleep, yogic lifestyle. It opens up your right nostril and it is right nostril, a little warming. And during sleep, our body core temperature comes down and it helps in the balance. Yoga is called a life of balance. So when you get up, you don't suddenly get up from your bed. You wait a little bit. And then first thing you do, you look at your hand and it's a Karo Darshan. Karo Darshan means you look at your hand, this is your karma for the whole day. Then you put your hands together as a prayer pose, then touch the ground. It's called a Bhu Namaskar. And then put it on your forehead as a pranam. Why Bhu Namaskar? You came from this earth. The earth brought you in this world. Salutation to the earth, the Bhu Namaskar. Then you do Namaskar to your father and mother. If they're still not alive, you do a Namaskar to their photograph. Why? Because of your father and mother, you are here. So salutation to my earth and to my parents. Next you sit down in a squatting position. A lot of people say, it's hard for me to do it. Yes, it is hard for you maybe today, but whole your practice is you start where you are and you slowly you come back in stages. In medical term, it's called a neuroplasticity. If you cannot sit there, if you can sit down here today, okay, you can slowly, you'll come down. Once you sit down in neuroplasticity, sit down in a thing, then you keep overnight a glass of water, preferably in a copper vessel. We do it in the copper vessel. I keep a glass of water next to my bed and keep it room temperature. I hold the glass. I keep drinking water in a gulp. I take one gulp at a time. When you start the gulp, what happens? Our gastrointestinal system, which is supplied by your parasympathetic nerve. And remember, parasympathetic activation is your meditation. Meditation is your medication. It starts contracting your intestinal tract, and sitting in this posture, I know your anatomy, our whole pelvic floor is relaxed. My anal canal, anal sphincter, and all the whole channel is straight. Normally there is a kink so that we don't have any accident. We don't have any loss of stool to normal time. So in this, you sit down, you get a morning bowel movement. In yogic tradition says, if you don't have a constipation, that is the most distracting for your meditation. If you don't have the bowel movement first thing in the morning, it's not a health. Health is a sign of strong digestion, easy elimination, and good night's sleep. Beautiful way, I mean, you don't need this cardiac stress test, you don't need a mammogram, you don't need all this stuff. Strong digestion, easy elimination, and good night dreamless sleep. I do what I tell my patients and my doctors. After that, you go and check with your physician. All the tests are normal. Your physicians, oh, fine. Keep on doing what you're doing. Now, people say, if you cannot sit down in this posture, okay, this, India, you have seen, in the villages, they'll sit down. Our commode is a worst for our bowel movement. If you sit down in the commode here, this angle what you create is not good for your bowel movement. So guess what? Only in America, and I have it all the time. I don't know if you've ever seen one. Let me show it to you. This is called a squatty potty. I have it in every bathroom. I have it. It's called squatty potty. This is called a squatty potty. It has a curvature which goes around your commode. You put it around your commode. You get your feet high up, and you sit down for a bowel movement. Perfect. Right. I have 4 bathrooms in my house. I have all 4 I have a house. Next yogic tradition is for the daily thing. It's called your ablution. That means you have to wash your rear end, anal sphincter, anal canal. We always call I don't know if you know, it's called Ashini Mudra. The horse does it, contracting but you always use a water. So these days we have what is called your washlet. And I have washlet in all my bathrooms. So you clean up. Then your first thing, you are brushing your teeth. When you brush your teeth, obviously in the back, brush is softer. Then you brush in your gums after that. Massaging the gums is very important. Then you scrape your tongue. When you scrape your tongue, remember people say, use a brush, no, scrape your tongue. Why? When you put a food in your mouth doesn't know, is it a protein, or it is a fat, or is a carbohydrate? Tongue only knows the taste. There is 6 tastes: astringent, bitter, salty, sour, sweet. There is a lot of, there's a preformed tongue scraper. I have all the tongue scrapers. You go all the way to the back and slowly pull it down. See, remember, you are preparing your body and mind. See, if you're breathing, I think I discussed with you, when your breathing is effortless, when your breathing is slow and deep, you enter into meditation. Why? Breath connects your body and mind. Remember, when you're sleeping, you're breathing. That's a function of your brainstem called unconscious. But you wake, you can take a deep breath in. It's a function of your called a brain cortex. Breath connects between your subconscious and conscious mind, so enter into meditation. So when you have a clean tongue, even when you look at the scraping, by looking at that, we know what is going to happen to our body today. If the scraping looks whitish, it's called kapha. Like today is a very cloudy morning, it's a kapha day. If it is yellowish, it's a pitta. It's a bright sunny day. If it is a brownish, and there is a lot of ways that there is like a copper. The copper is very popular in our yogic tradition. So there's a copper, we use copper for your tongue scraping. And you have a lot of other plastic other thing. So after tongue scraping, we do a jalneti. Jalneti is absolutely a must for yoga practice. We do a jalneti, we do a sutraneti. Why? Remember two things. When you start doing a Jalneti, you clean your nose. So in the morning, you're washing your face, washing your eyes, washing your hair, everything. Most important thing, your nostril throughout the whole night. This whole dryness. You know, if you, I don't know if you've seen it, you know, that the nostril, the opening, it is so small. There is a thing called a breath easy. You can put a strip, the strip
Yes.
opens up from outside. It opens only 0.3 millimeter. It increases 40% of your breath. So when the nose gets dried up in overnight sleep, you don't breathe properly. So first thing you do in the morning, I do it first. I see the patency of my both nostril. I close one, the left nostril is open, and the right nostril.
You just do this a couple of times, is it? Or
just to practice to see that both of your nostrils are not open. And it, you
Right.
know, in our life, it goes back every 90 minutes to 2 hours, it changes. So when you do this Jalneti, first you open up both the nostrils. That's number one. The number two, when you start this, your Jalneti, you will have a little irritation. Slowly and slowly that irritation goes away. And the irritation goes away, what happens? Nothing bothers you. So I am in a state of meditation when even talking to you. Say, for example, you come, you know, you are my boss, you come with a screaming, you know, I mean, you are just dumping on me something. You know what I think when I'm meditating state? You know, it's your problem. You didn't sleep last night well, or you had a fight with your wife. You know, you are carrying a emotional garbage, and you find me. I am the trash can. So you're dumping your emotional garbage on me. So your body doesn't activate. So when you're in a state of mind, I used it, I know all the time. The Apple Watch, I'm seeing my EKG, I'm seeing my heart rate, I'm seeing a blood pressure. Nothing goes high up because I'm a parasympathetic tone. But when I am not in a meditative state, when my boss is screaming at me, what will happen? My blood pressure is going to high up, my blood sugar is going to high up, my heart rate is going to high up. So everybody asks me, how do you can get into this Jalneti practice? You know, in India, I lived with the yogis. They don't have anything. They just put their hand, little hand up, they put the one nostril, take it up, bring it to the other nostril. Put it on one hand. So wonderful practice. And then I want to show it to you because after that, we do a little bit of a Kapalbhati pranayama. So we are going to talk to the next 20 minutes more.
Yes.
Let me, is it okay if I show it to you? Because this is very important, you know, this practice, and it's very simple. It takes 2 minutes to do it. Just let me get a little bucket here.
Sure.
You know, we do it. I do it on the bathroom basin, but for your sake, let me show it to you. We generally do it sitting down. So sitting down, but if you're doing, we use a neti pot. This is a neti pot. This is a porcelain one. I like the porcelain because initially it will fit and close your nostril. If you have a problem initially, you can put a little bit of a Vaseline. It'll work. I have everything, you know. In India, they're very popular. It's a copper. And, you know, this is so popular in this country because neti pot you can find now.
That's
in
right.
In Walmart, in Target, when you see everything in Walmart.
Many pharmacy. Yes.
Pharmacy.
Yes, they all have it.
In a health food store always. But I'm trying to give an example. When you see it in the Walmart, that means it has penetrated the Western lifestyle. All my parents, I have hundreds and hundreds of people, children. I teach them with their chronic sinus infection, allergies. Once they get hooked to it, I even carry one. This is a plastic one. I carry it when I'm traveling. So I never miss a single day. It doesn't matter. I'm in a plane, I'm in a train, I'm in a hotel, I'm your house, my house. I have never missed it almost in the last, I would say 20 years. use a little salt. Salt, you use it, which is called your non-iodized salt. Non-iodized salt causes a little irritation. Then use a water, a little bit of lukewarm water. And let me show you, it takes a minute to do it and how effective it is. Right. First, when you see it, you know what will happen? Your fear will go away. You know, it's a fear you don't, and people ask me, what happens when I put it inside and put it outside? Okay. So I'm sitting here. I will fill it up first. Oh, you guys are recording it, great. So you're going to be able to see, go back and see it. I'm going to fill it up with my little, I say little lukewarm water. And for me, room temperature is nice and lukewarm. Nothing wrong in that. How much salt? Generally, I say about 6 to 8 pinches. So what I do, generally what you do, you make enough salt because our body is a little bit of a saline. Like, you know, if you see at our sweat and all the body fluid is saline, so you put a little salt. I will put 6 to 8 pinch, like 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Initially you need it. After a while, you don't need anything. Stir it up a little bit. Now you see the magic. If you have never done it, if you have never seen it, what will happen to you? Initially, when you do it, your face will be flushed. You won't be able to talk. You won't be able to breathe, and no water will come out. You know why? Because it's a relaxation response which brings from one nostril to the other. The moment of a tightness, the little mucosa all tightens up. So look at how beautiful it is. I'm putting on my left nostril, fitting tight. I'm opening my mouth, breathing through my mouth, and just turning my head on the right side. How easily the water comes out. Did you guys see it, or you want me to come closer?
No, this is perfect. We can see it okay.
See how just at the stream coming down and I'm talking. And remember, this is a private practice, okay? So you do your flush, then you flush your nostril. It's very important. You flush your nostril. I will show you something because everybody asks me the same question. My water is not coming out. I'm so afraid. Where is the water is going? You know, Lakshmi, have you ever been to a public pool? You took a dip in a public pool. You know where the water has gone? Water has gone through your nostril, where it gone? Plus, in a public pool, you don't know. I mean, pardon my language, you know, somebody is pissing on the public pool. It is public pool, is not a clean water. Another thing I ask all the time, people in especially overseas countries in India, what kind of water do you use? Any drinkable water you can use. Somebody says, and I'm afraid I want to do a boiled water, still, it's up to you. For me, in the United States, the water is so good, so clean, nothing happens. In India, when I go, I use a bottled water. So again, I'm putting it the same way, doing both sides.
That is good to know about the water, though.
Yes, in India, I do a bottled water. But what water is, people always ask me what kind of water. I said, if it is drinkable water, if you can put in your mouth, you can put in your nose. Right. What a beautiful way of example, giving an example, huh? So look at again. I can come a little closer if you want to see. Do you see it well from there?
We can see it okay, Dr. Sarkar.
It's okay. Just let me come a little bit closer so if you can see. This is on my right side now, okay? You see how easily it's coming out from the other nostril?
Yes.
So when you do that, you are again blowing your nostril because you want the water to be out. Now you do something because you have some water within your sinuses. You have a sinus inside. So you get up a little bit. And then you do called Kapalbhati Pranayama. You put it inside, like you turn your head up, head down, right side, left side. In the head, you hit in the head 5 times. All comes out. Then throughout the whole day, you may be able to have a little bit of drainage from your sinuses, but which is entirely normal. And as I said, I don't even remember the day I missed it. Doesn't matter. I'm in the hospital, I'm at home, I'm your home, my home in the hotel. After Jalneti, we also do a Sutraneti. I don't know if you know what a Sutraneti is. Sutraneti is putting a little thread, or you could a red rubber catheter to one nostril, pull it out, we clean the nostril. So for the sake of time, let me just proceed a little bit. After that, we'll do a asana practice. And this practice I'm going to skip now, but I'm going to tell you what we do. Asana practice we do is called your Shankha Prakshalan. Shankha Prakshalan, Shankha is a stomach, Prakshalan is a cleansing. There are 5 asanas. You can do one asana, it's called a Shankha asana, called Udar Karshan asana. You sit down in a squatting pose. This is called a Malasan, in fact. You know, you're excreting Malasan. Take the one knee in front of it, push the other knee. Breathe out first, take a deep breath in and slowly turn your head in the other side. This is another one. This is called Shankha Prakshalan. 5 asanas. Next one is called a Tirjak Bhujanga Asana. You do a cobra pose, then you get up and turn around, and there are 3 standing high up. It's called Utthita Tadasana, upward mountain pose, Tirjak Tadasana, oblique mountain pose, Katichakra Asana. Please visit my YouTube channel. I have all of them there. But the main asana we practice in the morning, sitting down, will be your slowly and slowly. This is called a Sukhasana. And you sit down in Sukhasana. If you get any pain, we just back off. Slowly and slowly, we stay in the same pose. Next, we call a Siddhasana in stages. Put a heel in there. It takes a little time for people, but you say in stages, impossible become possible. From there, we'll be doing your, say, Ardha Padmasana. Remember, this is all relaxation response. This is meditation. Unless you prepare your physical body, you said, oh, I'm doing a heartfulness meditation. I'm closing my eyes. I'm listening to it. It's great. Body needs to be in a called a sthiram sukham asanam. Stillness. There I am. I'm putting my feet high up. I'm sitting in a Padmasana. So in a Padmasana, when I'm doing a Dhyana Mudra, closing my eyes, paying attention to my breath, I'm already entering into meditation. But if I don't prepare, if I don't do this thing, my nose is now irritating. I'm not breathing properly. See, now my both nostril is equally open. It's called a Shushunma Nari. Ida and Pingala gets into a Shushunma Nari is opened up. Nothing bothers me. I'm in a meditative pose. This is the most relaxing pose. Another relaxing pose we practice is your Vajrasana. See, when you sit down in a Vajrasana, keep your spine straight. It enters into a profound relaxation response. Next thing you do, you always want to sit with your spine straight. Remember you said, oh, sit down, lengthen your spine straight. always spine straight. I don't know if I've shown it to you. I might have shown it to you. I have this chair. This chair is called a kneeling chair. Throughout the whole day, I'll sit down in this chair. I'll sit down in a chair. I don't know if you can see it more. I'll sit down in this chair and I'll be doing my computer work. All my spine is straight. Merudanda achal manasthir. Every time, even when I get up, I do everything. I'll keep my spine straight.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, what do? We do laying down asanas. We do 5 laying down asanas called Ignite Your Agni. Very generally, the way we do it is that, and then we'll do a set of pranayama. Remember, asana pranayama, 5th is called a pratyahara. Pratyahar, pratya means reject, ahar means all the input, controlling your 5 senses. Then it's called dharan, the focus. When the mind is in a dharan, you enter into a dhyan, meditation. So heartfulness meditation, which you'll be practicing in next 5-7 minutes, it will be coming to you. So see, this is called we call it a sabasana or what, laying down. But from here, if you can raise your feet high up, Paduttanasana, you get into a Naukasana.
Mm-hmm.
So Agni, you ignite your Agni. From here, you can do a Pavan Muktasana. You can do a Jathar Parivartanasana. So these are all the asana practices we do. We even do a Sarvanga Asana. We do a Shirshasana, Halasana. We do all this stuff, but during doing asana practice, Sthiram Sukham Asanam, effortless breathing and totally in a comfort. Breath has to be totally effortless. What is effortless breathing? I can talk, I can sing. People will tell me, let me show you something because your audience might like this one. I will do one of the most difficult asana people talks about, Mayurasana. Have you seen a Mayurasana? Or have you seen a Mayur? Have you seen a Mayuri asana? Okay, you guys have never seen it. Yeah, you have not. Okay. So I will be talking, I'll be breathing. And I'm a lot younger than all of you, This is called my mental age. I've been practicing for 55 years, it doesn't matter, huh? So sit down here, put your hands, can you see me?
Yes.
Put your body in the elbows, put your body in the front, whole body is going to go high up. Wow. I'm talking, I'm breathing. Why? Because I am in that meditative state. You guys always do. I do heartfulness meditation. I don't have to be sitting down like what you guys do. Look at Mayuri Asana. We got a female version. We do a Padmasana, lotus. From Padmasana, you do the Mayurasana. But I'm talking, I'm breathing, my breath is totally effortless. So after a practice of this relaxation response, first we come to the pranayama. Pranayam. Pran is a life force. It is a subtle energy. It is not your breath. Breath is the carrier of your prana. Prana is like electricity, and breath is like electric cable. Lung is like a balloon. It has a 6-liter capacity, needs 1.5 liter to keep it open. You can exchange 4.5 liter, which is called vital capacity. You only breathe half a liter, 500 cc with each breathing. So when I'm taking a deep breath in, all the air is sitting in the top of the dirty air in the lung. It is doing no good for me. In yogic tradition, you breathe out first. Empty the lung, take a deep breath in, This is called a three-part breathing called Dirgha Shas. Breathe out longer than breathing in. You practice count of 2 in, count of 4 out, and count of 3 in, count of 6 out. We can do count of 10 in and count of 20 out. Spine straight, Merudanda Achal, Manasthir. When you do exhalation longer than inhalation, that's enough pranayama to put you in a meditative state. Then we do call it, just let me finish in next 2 minutes. Let me call it called Bastrika, bellows. Active inhalation, active exhalation, Kapalbhati pranayama, which is called Agni Pradhan pranayama. At first you do as much as your body will allow and slowly, then you go all Anulom Vilom pranayama, alternate nostril breathing. Then you do a called a Brahmri pranayama, bumblebee breathing. Then you do Ujjayi pranayama. We do a lot of called bandhas, called Jalandhar bandha. Take your chin down, touch your chin to the chest. Take a deep breath in and hold. It's called Murcha pranayama. We breathe out first. I stuck a stomach in. Udyani bandh, Jalandhar bandh, Mula bandh. We practice 1 hour a day, 25 minutes of asanas, 25 minutes of pranayama, 10 minutes of meditation. We are in a profound state of relaxation, parasympathetic mode to be in a meditative state. We're in a heartfulness meditation. Remember, it connects your mind and your heart. That's what the heartfulness means. You look inside your heart. All the time we practice our eyes closed. So our awareness is all inside our heart. I have a lot of practice. Generally, simply, I want to come back and show you the practices. If you want, you can go to my YouTube channel. I have all the practices, and it's all up to you. You do a little bit of a session now. As you said, you will continue. And if your time permits, I'll be glad to answer. I cannot read the chat. I see if there's something in the chat, you read and let me know. Any question for you?
Thank you, Dr. Sarkar. Really, it was beautiful to see all the Dinacharya practices that you yourself practice every day, actually. There were quite a few questions that kept coming in, but I'm going to ask you one before we move on to a set of questions on food. So this one is on pranayama. Now, the role of pranayama to increase, nitric oxide to improve health, role in increasing parasympathetic tone, lung function, asthma or allergies. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, if you do a nasal breathing, see, we breathe through your nostril. We don't breathe through our mouth. So what you do, we close our eyes. First, we breathe out first. Then you breathe through our nostril. Nose is our personal filter. It filters our air. Nose is a personal air conditioner. Outside air is warm, it cools it down. Outside is cool, it warms it up. Then there is a two organ called a turbinate. It directs the air going over the mucosa of the sinuses. When it goes over the mucosa of the sinuses, it secretes nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a potential vasodilator. That means it opens the blood vessels. And nitric oxide is a mediator of your parasympathetic tone. There are three mediators of parasympathetic tone. One is called your acetylcholine, and called cyclic GMP, and called nitric oxide. And all our health is called endothelial health. What is endothelial health? When a blood vessel is relaxed, the lining inside is called endothelium, and endothelium isn't healthy. Endothelium itself secretes the nitric oxide, which keeps our whole body in a parasympathetic tone, relaxation response. Your lung function gets better. And think about this way. A person who is dying, first, they have the last breath, they say expire, lung stops, then the heart stops, then the brain stops, then all the cellular function stops, then they die. So we as a physician, we first check the breathing, then we listen to your heart, check our reflexes to be sure nothing is, then we declare them dead. So the moment you improve your lung function, improve your heart function, improve your brain function, improve your cellular function. So able to just do a nasal breathing secreting nitric oxide, it does a profound relaxation response and a profound as a therapeutic outcome of yoga. And whole meditation we call medication. If you look at two words, meditation has one T, medication has one C. Otherwise, they're exactly the same letters. You say in the type of meditation, in the state of meditation, we have our mind secretes all the medication. So we do a heartfulness meditation. That means
we don't need any medication.
You don't need the aspirin. You don't need statin. The body is producing that. So perfect question. I love the question. Nitric oxide comes from a nasal breathing. Remember, if you breathe through your mouth, you don't know where the air has gone. It's gone to the stomach or the lung. So the nose, it all goes to the lung. Somebody says, I have to breathe through my mouth. Then what do? You breathe in through your nostril. You can breathe out through your mouth. See, whenever we take a such simple breath, did you notice, Lakshmi? I am breathing in almost 2, 3, 4 times than the normal air you guys breathe in a normal state. And it's my normal, called a neuroplasticity, normal habit. Beautiful question. Okay, next question.
Thank you, Dr. Sarkar. So there was, of course, the relationship to food plays an integral part on the yogic lifestyle, I believe, right? So I know you haven't touched on it. What is the role of diet in deepening the meditative practices? For example, sattvic food, or would you recommend, vegetarian food? What are your thoughts on that?
The food in your tradition is called jatha an tatha man. It means whatever your food, it creates your mind. Food doesn't create your body. Why? Because the whole digestive process is called activation of parasympathetic tone. So food in yogic tradition is a sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic. There are no other classification of the food in our Vedic philosophy. Sattvic is a purity of your mind. Rajasic is your activity of the mind. Tamasic is your dullness of your mind. So food, any dull food, heavy food is a tamasic food. Onion, garlic, the rajasic food. So what is the relationship of the food and the yoga practice? Your practice is that when you take a food, the food comes to your stomach, and food gets digested. It digested with a power, it's called Agni, called Jathar Agni, digestive power. Jathar Agni gets ignited with a relaxation response and practices like Kapalbhati Pranayama, Udyani Bandh, Agni Sarkriya. So when you get Agni, the food converts into Saptadhatu, called Rashadhatu, plasma, Raktadhatu, blood, Mamsadhatu, muscle, Medadhatu, fat, Ostidhatu, bone, Majjadhatu, nervous system, Shukradhatu, your reproductive tissue, then called Ojas. Ojas is our immunity. So what happens, the food you take has nothing to do with your type of food. See, in whole Western medicine says you are what you eat. Yoga says you are what you digest. If you can digest, so if you think about a vegetarian food, yes, vegetarian sattvic food is good with the people who are not practicing vegetarian and sattvic food. But the people who are doing the vegetarian sattvic food, if they're not in the parasympathetic tone, that food doesn't get digested. That food becomes a toxin. It's called ama. Ama blocks your all the channels and it causes all the disease. Remember, ashuk. What a beautiful word. Because sukh means happiness. When the sukh is gone, that is our disease. Disease. So coming back again, the morning, the breakfast is little. And if you want to push a breakfast higher, you push it towards your pitta time, close to your 10 o'clock, 9, 9:30, 10. I generally have a little bit of a yogurt, oatmeal. I put inside a little dates and almond, and that is my nice breakfast. Lunchtime is a main meal, and the main meal generally is considered as a 7 coloring fruits and vegetables, not only green, vibgeo, violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red, and you eat with your 5 senses. Content of the 5 senses is your mind. That's called, you have to eat food with your mind. On mind, the food get digested. Do not do any fruits with any food. Yoga doesn't suggest. So if you have to eat a fruits, because fruits have a lot of enzyme, one enzyme called intestinal glycoprotein, it impairs with your absorption of the food. Another called cytochrome P450, which interferes with the metabolism of your medication. So if you have to eat fruit with your meal, eat fruit first. There's a lot of way how to do the food. Best way to think is that eat from light to heavy. Whatever lighter food you have, light to heavy. And finally, what you do regarding your the fruit, you use as an afternoon fruit as a snack above all the 7 coloring fruits and vegetables. Dinner is very early, just within about an hour or 2 of the sunset, about 2 to 3 to 4 hours before going to bed. If you're going to bed around 10 or 11, try to have it by 6, by 7. About half the size of your lunch. We call it lunch is like, we call it a anjali, you know, 2 anjalis, this is your food. I have lived with the yogis, Lakshmi, we eat too much. You know what they eat? 1 meal a day, little khichdi and the veggie, the perfect health.
Isn't it? Yeah. It's a common saying we've heard, right? Eat breakfast like a king and dinner like a beggar. So
that is a Western. That is a Western, but our Eastern is main meal is a lunch, because we are part of the universe. Chatha Pindo, his body is the Brahmando. We need sunshine to digest. You know, if you eat a food, see, worst thing happens in India today. I call them 10:30, 11, they're having dinner and then going to bed. So when you're in bed, your body is not functioning. That food is becoming a poison. You know what the poison is? High cholesterol, high sugar, high uric acid. All this thing high in the body is not able to digest your food because you're not in a meditative state.
That's right.
It's a wonderful connection.
It is actually.
I'm sorry sorry the clock goes too fast for us, you know, but because it's such a nice conversation.
It is actually. I don't want it to end as well. There's been some questions, and with just considering, the time, we've talked a lot about so many good things.
You want to practice at least a couple of minutes just to show to your audience how to do a heartfulness meditation. Yeah. Why don't you do it? Take a little extra time. It's nice, you know, please do it. Wonderful.
Absolutely.
Practice.
I was just going to say that, you know, we've talked about all these good things, and let's just experience the heartfulness meditation. So just join me, sit comfortably and close your eyes. It's a very heart-centered meditation, and it's going to be a guided relaxation and meditation session. Let's begin with the toes. Wiggle your toes. Now feel them relax. Relax your ankles and feet. Feel the energy from the Mother Earth entering your legs, through the ankles, moving upwards, relaxing the calf muscles, knees, thighs, and hips. Now both your legs are completely relaxed. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Relax. Relax your seating area, stomach, and waist. Breathe in, breathe out, and relax. Now feel the energy in your back. From the top to the bottom, your entire back is relaxed. Breathe in, breathe out, and relax. Now relax your chest and shoulders. Feel your shoulders simply melting away. Now let the energy drain into your arms, relaxing the upper arms, lower arms, hands, all the way to the tip of the fingers. Now feel how both your arms are completely relaxed. Relax your neck muscles. Release any tension you may be holding there. Now let the energy move into your face, relaxing the jaw, mouth, nose, cheeks, earlobes, eyes, forehead, all the way to the top of the head. Now feel how your whole body is completely relaxed. Now gently turn your attention to the heart. Imagine a source of light that's already in your heart, is illuminating and pulling your attention inwards. If you have distracting thoughts, gently brush them aside and treat them as passing clouds. Slowly and gently bring your attention back to the light in the heart. Stay still and quiet until you hear me say, "That's all." That's all. You may slowly and gently open your eyes and come back to the present moment. So thank you, everyone.
Okay, just give me a few seconds. Let me finish just telling you, I've been practicing for a long, long time, but with this short practice to tell you, on this my mudra, at the end, I can feel my sensation becomes very acute. I can feel what is called a capillary pulsation. Remember looking at the heart, this thing happens. My breath became so deep and it almost became, I remain here, my breath. And I was looking at here, my EKG was all normal. Blood pressure is all the way down. My heart rate is all the way down. So we are very science-based. So we have all the information here. It may not happen to you today, but with the practice, it is called neuroplasticity. That means by putting the information in your brain, what is called a habit forming, your brain gets a signal. That's how I need to be. So it is a science too. It's a philosophy, it's a science, and we can show you. This practice is extremely, extremely, extremely beneficial for your health and wellness. Namaskar.
Namaskar. Beautiful, actually. I don't have to say anything, and I completely agree with you. All the Dinacharya practices and, finishing up with the meditation. As you always say, Dr. Sarkar, in all your videos, I've heard that you say that asana, pranayama, all of that, and you ultimately you end with 10 minutes of meditation. I see there is a thread going there, a meditative state, isn't it, that you talk about?
Yeah, but if you look at our yam niyam, if you look at yam niyam, ahimsa, sattva, aparigraha, the all meditative state cannot have ahimsa, non-violence, cannot have a truthfulness. We say you don't have to remember a truth. If you tell a lie, you have to remember, what did I say? So that is a meditative state. Then niyama, your cleanliness, socho, santosh, tapa, ishara pranidan. Look at everything is your meditation. Asana, sthiram, sukham, asanam, meditation. Pranayama, meditation. Pratyahara, ahar means all the inputs. So a beautiful way you've described. Step by step come to the seventh limb of heartfulness meditation. Wonderful practice. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Finish word. Karo yog, raha nirog.
What does that mean?
Karo means do. Yog means yoga practice.
Yes.
Raho means stay. Nirog means no disease. Rogi is the people with the disease, the Sanskrit word. Nirogi is no disease, the yogi. So karo means do, yoga is yoga, raho means stay, nirogi is a disease-free, healthy.
Awesome. Thank you for your closing remarks, and thank you, audience, for joining us. As you can see, leading a yogic lifestyle does not need to be an all or nothing affair. And start your yoga lifestyle off by making, small conscious changes that we had Dr. Sarkar had shown us today. And we can easily incorporate this into our day-to-day life. Small changes will eventually add up and make a big difference. So we wish you all a healthy, happy, and a beautiful life. Thank you, Dr. Sarkar, again for this wonderful session with us. Thoroughly enjoyed it, and we'll try and do all that you've thought, both on and off the yoga mat. So until I see you all again in our next webinar, take care. Bye for now.
Have you disconnected live now?
Just a moment.
Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Sarkar.
Okay, let me stop recording, huh?
Sure.
Okay. It says stop iCloud recording. Are you still recording?
I just stopped it.
Okay, so let me stop my one too.